Hello, my name is Jim Wiltshire, and it is an honor to have been asked to speak to you today on being plugged in and positive. A little something to charge you up when life is draining you. Where do you get your power from? Is it from here? Or here? Maybe even it's from here. Is there a possibility that you have one of these in your backyard that you're hiding from everybody? But let's be honest. With the onslaught of cell phones, tablets, music, computers, appliances from around our house, we have become a generation that consumes more power than ever before. Not just in the physical, but even in our own personal life. It seems like we are always giving out and never doing enough to draw in. So what about you? Where do you get your energy from? Where do you find your place to charge up, renew yourself, re-strengthen yourself? Where does your power come from? Is it a morning cup of coffee? For many it is. Or how about a workout regimen and a protein shake at the end? And if that wasn't enough, you might revert back to just yet another cup of coffee. And we try so hard to find the positive things in life, and at times they can be difficult with everything that we see before us going on in our world. Positivity is the result of staying connected to a source, one that is always giving, always consistent, and always there for you to draw from. Many of us at times feel very drained. We feel tapped out. Our schedule in life is overwhelming between work and school, events and activities, and even dealing with the difficult situations of life. We think the answer is that we need to unplug for vacation. That's the answer that's going to fix it all. That's where we're going to charge up and we're going to find the strength that we need. But sometimes a lot of people will unplug and they will not reconnect for a long period of time. People will unplug for things such as vacations or family time or even soul searching and meditation. But if we unplug for too long, we will gradually fall into a state of isolation that will ultimately lead us to a powerless state. But we were made for so much more than this. Our existence was made to flow and to surge and to generate great power and to conduct. You know, I like to think for just a moment that life can and will be, if we work hard enough at it, full of great positivity and power. You see, the human body is a conduit of positivity. We may not be the source, but we can be the carriers of kindness and the distributors of hope to others who are probably running on less than 5% in their own life. So, I tell you today to seek positivity. Seek positivity in your life. Make it a goal for you. In every step and every decision that we make, every one of them is very important as we are moving forward. So consider those that you are connected to. And make sure that they are the ones that add value to your life and they charge you up. And you may want to also consider those that are draining from you and leave you with nothing. Those are the ones that you should probably disconnect from. Because you can't get a positive charge out of a negative influence. So how do I change that in my life? Start to surround yourself with positive people. Take the elements of negativity out of your life. Distance them from your everyday so that you're not waiting for a vacation once a year, but every day you're adding a strong sense of power and positivity to your life with the ones who add value to you. With a word of encouragement, a word of help and hope. We face difficult times every single day, things that will drain us in this world. But we need people that are positive around us to help us to stay encouraged and to stay strong. Another thing that you can do in order to find this strength and positivity is to involve yourself in some inspirational groups such as churches or civic groups. Those are the ones who spread hope and positivity throughout your community. Get involved with them. Allow those elements in the community to be the things that drive a very positive environment that you can be a part of, not just in gaining positivity, but in also giving it. It's true, too, that the things that we watch and the things that we listen to have a huge impact on our life. Things like the music we listen to and the books that we read, the things that we watch on television, all of these elements in our life have an impact. Every single one of them have some type of an effect on our life. So make sure that you're filling your mind and your soul with elements that edify and not destroy. Take these things into consideration and seek them. Each one of them will add value to who you are and give you the charge that you're looking for. Well, I would like to say, though, also that you need to confirm your connections. It's very important that you know what you're connecting yourself to and why you're connecting yourself to it. I ask myself the question all the time, are these things in my life right for me? You should be asking yourself the question as well, are they right for you? Now, some of the small things that I filter that question through are, can I handle the situation? Can I handle the group or the people that I'm connecting myself to? Is it going to be good for me? Am I going to be able to handle the responsibility? Sometimes we jump in with both feet and we don't consider the cost of what it's going to ultimately take from us. So I want you to think about that. Is this element that you're looking to get involved in something that you're going to be able to handle? Because if you can't handle it and it depletes you of your resources, then you will be left wanting and usually spiral into a place that you would not want to be. I also ask myself, is it going to get you what you need? Now, it's very important that we always weigh out the balance of things in our life. Is one way or another, we're going to have to rob Peter to pay Paul or cheat in some kind of a way, because there's no way that we can fulfill every part of our life that we want to. So we have to be very selective of the things that we connect ourselves to. So I ask myself, is this going to get us what we need? Am I going to be able to get enough power from this? Or is it going to be, I plug myself into it, and then all of a sudden I realize that there's not really nothing here. There's nothing here that's going to add value. And I find myself connected to something that at times I can't disconnect from. I also ask myself the question, will it short me out? I just bought a power washer a few weeks ago, and I accidentally plugged it into an outlet that looked like it was okay. But when I plugged it in and we began to run it, we quickly realized that the system behind the plug could not handle what we were drawing from it. The machine that was connected, the power washer that was connected, required more than that outlet could handle or give to it or distribute to it. So with that, I found myself in a predicament, and I found out that I had damaged the system. And the last thing we want to do in our life is cause any other problems that are not necessary. So if we take the time and we count the costs and we look at what we're connecting ourselves to, we can very well find out that there are things that we should be involved in and things that we shouldn't. And I also asked myself the question, can it do more damage than good? Well, I learned that lesson with the power washer because I ended up spending quite a bit of money on having an electrician come in and go through each outlet in the house from the power box to the outlet that I plugged in, because it had broken the strand in between and none of the outlets worked. There's a lot of times in our life we'll make decisions, we'll get involved in things, and we can't handle it, or it can't handle us, and we end up breaking down in a system. But during it and along the way, we've connected with other people, and those people will also lose their connection along with us. So do choose your connections well and confirm them. But when you do, when you find the right fit, when you find the right group of people, when you find the right community to connect to, make sure you connect solid with them, because that is where you are going to be able to fully charge. Whether it's a family member, a friend, or someone in your community, those people are going to be connections that will probably never be broken. They're going to be a resource for you for your life. So consume all that you can from them with respect. Obviously, we don't want to deplete them, always being needy, but draw from them and learn from them and glean from them and take that into your life and turn that into positive strength and energy to help you to move forward. Don't ever give up too soon either. So often, by our human nature, we just want to quit. We have an attitude in the world today to just do enough to get by. We really can't live our life that way, just enough to get by, because the first time that something comes into our life that changes everything that's going on, we realize that we do not have the power or the strength to get through it. And I'll just take a typical cell phone. You know, if you don't charge your cell phone to its fullest charge, it will not last the full period of time that you're wanting to use it. And as well, in some cell phones, the systems inside that require a certain amount of power will begin to automatically shut themselves off and go into a low power mode. This way here, not depleting or draining you anymore, but those areas of that cell phone are now no longer operable, at least not to the full function that they were designed to be at. I don't want that in my life. I want to be able to know that when I need to resource a skill, a strength, something in my life, that I'm charged enough to make sure that I'm going to be able to execute when called upon. And these are things in our life that the mentality and the mindset of today's culture is just doing enough to get by, is like plugging in your cell phone for 15 minutes so that you can make a phone call, so that you just have to turn around and plug it back in. I mean, what is the point of having a hands-free cell phone if you're always tied to an outlet because you've never taken the time to fully charge? But when you fully charge, it gives you the freedom and the liberty to move about and to do what needs to be done every single day. So don't give up too soon. Hold on and make sure, because once you are fully charged, once you have what it's going to take, the necessity of making it go forward, then you can redistribute. And that is the greatest feeling in the world. When you have the ability to broadcast positivity, when you walk into a room and people are saying, oh, you know, here comes this guy, or here comes this girl, and they're always so positive. What's the deal? You don't want to walk into a room with your knuckles dragging on the ground and your head hung low. That's going to tell everybody that you are totally drained and that you don't have any kind of energy to make probably through the event that you're at. But when you come through the door with great vibrancy and brilliance and power, it's then and only then that you will be noticed by others, and they'll want to know what it is that you're doing to stay so positive. Begin to speak positively. Negative words can only hurt. And negative content can only destroy. So I would encourage you that if you are trying to live a life that is positive and plugged in, that you are going to speak a life that is positive. Every word that comes out of your mouth is a word of encouragement. That you don't want to gossip, or you don't want to talk about somebody in a way that is negative, telling stories. You want to make sure that you're always looking for the best in everyone, and you want to bring light and shine light upon those people and those situations in the best of light, hoping to create an environment that is positive. And of course, sharing positivity is a big part. We may be able to gain and charge up and be positive, but if we don't share the positivity, we will never change the world that is around us. Sharing positivity turns us into a conduit. A conduit is something that takes one thing from one location and brings it to another location. You are designed to be a conduit, to redistribute and to generate this positivity in other people's lives. Man, what would the world be like today if there were more positive people? If the news would begin to report positive things instead of negative things, if the media would focus on the good in the world and not the bad in the world, we could counteract the culture of today, and we could change the world into just a great place for us all to live, one that is free from negativity and full of positivity. You know, it was Matthew 5:14 from the Bible that says that we are the light of the world. A city that is set on the hill cannot be hid. We have to remember that we were created to be a light, to be someone who creates presence when they're in the sight of darkness. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid, especially if it's lit up. I fly in and out quite a bit, and when I take off from large major metropolitan cities like Chicago or LA, I begin to, especially if it's a night flight, and I take that flight and I see it as I'm taking off, all the lights that are down below me. And I look at each one of those lights, street lights, I think about how many people are in that neighborhood and how many other opportunities to create, a good friendship are there. And I look at those things, and you can't hide that city. Everything about that thing is screaming, there are people here, there's presence here. Then you fly over other areas that are out over the desert, and you don't see lights for miles and miles and miles and miles. And if you do, it might be one little small light, and that one little small light will let you know that there's probably somebody that's right there. Well, our light needs to be the same way. Our positivity needs to shine so brightly, because there are a lot of places in the world today, and maybe you're going through it yourself, and you're feeling negative and drugged down and powerless in today's world, not knowing what tomorrow holds or what's around the corner. I'm here today to encourage you to stay positive and to shine as bright as you possibly can. Look at your life and look at all of the benefits and the pluses that are in your life and draw from those. Connect yourself to some good, positive people. Connect yourself to some very good groups of people, some communities of people, and do some good in return. These are how we can redistribute. In every community, we have homeless shelters and opportunities to serve. Get involved in a homeless shelter. Get involved in a veterans group, a children's program in town, an elderly program in town. Friends that have special needs, that are either mentally or physically handicapped, that need some encouragement. They're going through some transitional times in their life, and they're wondering what the future holds. Help them to shed some light on it. Be positive and look at the great things that are before them. And you can be that help in a dark world. So, my friends, today I encourage you to plug into positivity and shock the world. I want to thank you today for giving me a few moments to put this thought in your mind, and hopefully together we can change the world. Thank you.